Threads of a Dream, a brief history of the founding of the Windham Textile and History Museum.
I like to think of it as the little museum that could.
In 1985, the American Thread Company plant in Willimantic, Connecticut closed. ATCO moved what was left of its operation to North Carolina. The closing was the final chapter in a long, slow decline. Willimantic's largest employer, a factory that once employed more than 2,500 workers, stood silent. Soon, there was news that the entire Willimantic ATCO complex had been sold to Jonathan Dugan, a Hartford developer with local roots.
Under an agreement signed in New York recently, the developer will take over the mill, which includes 1 million square feet in its 16 buildings.
Dugan had high hopes for the complex, envisioning it as a site for future industrial, office, commercial, and residential space. But soon, Dugan faced problems.
We're not shutting it off today, but it could be in the next 48 hours if they don't respond.
And even more problems.
In a building that size without a working sprinkler system, you're asking for a major fire.
None of our deadlines have been met.
Local criticism mounted.
The town of Windham has made the right move in forcing the owner of the American Thread Company buildings to comply with local safety codes.
Then a gift was given, and much was forgiven.
We should be thankful to Jonathan Dugan, owner of the former American Thread Complex, for his generous gift of 2 buildings. Christmas came a little early this year with the announcement today of the establishment of the Windham Textile and History Museum.
And a museum was born. Laura Knott Twine, a weaver who lived in Windham Center, was the visionary who put it all together. She had help. Interns, donations, volunteers. Laura put together the legal organization of the museum and recruited a board of directors. She raised money. Several $100,000 in state grants paid for the renovating of the buildings.
As long as everyone else is working so hard on this, let's get the state involved too.
It was all the news fit to print. For some, the museum seemed to fit into a long-term vision of Willimantic's transition from an old, declining industrial center to a vibrant post-industrial community.
The only industry which can both bring people to town and preserve the character of Willimantic is the tourism industry. The proposed textile museum could easily become the focal point.
And so, work went full steam ahead. Work by volunteers and craftsmen continued for well over a year to stabilize the building and set up the first exhibits. everyone seemed to like puns. And more puns? Even the New York Times stooped to punditry. Ouch. The museum opened in August 1989. And a parade in September celebrated the museum's more formal opening. All the town's cultural associations arrived. People lined up to see dignitaries give citations to the tunes of Norwich's Rose City Chorus. Willimantic just loves a parade, and this one was epic. Citizens of all interests, merchants, clubs, colleges, antique cars, and horse carts. Even Alice showed up. Ernie in his mini car, Linda and Lynn in gowns, equestrians, and pump engines, stilt walkers, penny farthings, ladies in coaches, and on the march. Our sister museum made a good showing. And more antique cars. To applause from all. And a corps of volunteers would carry on. We hope you've enjoyed the start to our story. Stay tuned for further installments.